Hi, I'm Paige Severe, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to start an online women's clothing boutique. So you might be wondering, well, what gives you credit, Paige, to talk about how to start an online clothing boutique? Well, I'll tell you. I started my own online women's clothing boutique over, almost 3 years ago now. And it was a very successful clothing boutique. I found my niche, I did very well in it, and I sold it to focus on my entrepreneurial journey now. Have you ever wondered, where the heck do I go, or what am I supposed to be looking for to start an online clothing boutique? Well, today I'm going to give you a general overview. I'm going to talk through 7 or 8 steps or things that you should be doing as you start your business and go from there. Okay, so first things first. If you haven't noticed yet, the boutique world is really saturated. I mean, really saturated. So you need to make sure that you find a niche. You need to find something that is going to draw people to your store that's different than all of the other boutiques out there, because guess what? When you start a boutique, you are going to be buying from the same wholesalers and the same platform that all these other businesses are. So you've got to find a way to stand out, whether that's through price, whether it's through a niche product within the boutique world, whatever it is, you must find a niche. Okay, so number 1, find a niche. Let's talk about the second thing you need to do. Okay, let's talk about the basics of starting a boutique. Well, first things first, you need to find a domain and make sure that all of your social media handles are cohesive, meaning it's the same name across all boards, just because you don't want it to ever be confusing for someone who's trying to find your store. Okay, so find the domain name, and then you need to get licensed. You need to register within your state and with your city. Make sure you get all the taxes. You need to buy a retail license as well as just a license to do business. Okay, the next thing you're probably going to want to do is you want to get a Gmail business account. I highly recommend it. I want to say it's like $5 or $10 a month. You can have so many users on it. That way when people are emailing you, they are emailing you at info@whateveryourbusinessname.com. You want people to know that this is a legitimate business. And then the third thing I want to talk about is where you should host your store. I highly recommend Shopify. It's a really great platform for store owners. With my business, I made the mistake of starting on WordPress. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely worth the money to invest in Shopify. They just have so many amazing features and templates and apps, and it was just really user-friendly, beautiful websites, and they look really good on the mobile version. So I highly recommend using Shopify. Fourth thing, let's talk about inventory. Where are you going to find inventory for your women's clothing boutique? Okay, so this is my best kept secret, you guys. I'm giving it away. You want to look at fashiongo.com or lashowroom.com. There's even a third wholesaler platform that's, okay, and that one's orangeshine.com, I believe. And the important thing is that twice a year you are attending trade shows. That's where you're gonna find out all what's hot, what's not, the new designers out there, what people are buying. And that trade show, the one that I attended as a boutique owner, was called Magic. So if you look up Magic, I know they do shows in Vegas, they do shows in Texas, I believe, in New York. So just look for that, okay? You'll be able to find anything and everything that you need. And then the other thing that I would say, and I'm not going to go too far in this, I'll probably do another video on this, but with inventory in general, you really need to test your market, okay? It's gonna be about a year or so of kind of figuring out who your market is, what people are buying, what people like. Never just, straight up invest all of your money in a ton of products, because when you're buying inventory, you do have to buy in packs. So I always say start small and then build from there if the need is there for your product. And that's how you're gonna kind of learn what your market likes and what they don't like. Okay, number 5, let's talk about establishing a social media. You have to be on social media. In fact, that is where all of your sales are going to come from. I still believe in Google SEO, but it is definitely not as powerful as Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. You're in the visual market with having an online women's clothing boutique, and so you need to make things very visually appealing. So make sure that you have a strong Instagram name, turn it into a business account. Make sure you have a Pinterest account that's linked with your website, so that when people are looking at your images and they're thinking about purchasing, they can also pin it to their boards. So those are the 3 places that I would really recommend building your storefront. Facebook, have a Facebook page, Instagram, and Pinterest. And again, the social media thing is a whole nother beast in and of itself, so I won't touch on that in this video, but that's just something you know that you'll need to have. Okay, let's talk about shipping. I really liked ShipStation, and I just linked it with a Stamps account. I think shipping you via the USPS system is the way to do it when you start out, because you're going to be shipping in very small increments. It's very affordable, and then as you grow and get bigger and you have a big warehouse and a big team, then you can move to, you know, something like UPS. But definitely start with the Postal Service, and I really recommend using ShipStation. The other thing that you're probably going to want to do is create a mailing list. My favorite mailing system was MailChimp. I used a few others, but MailChimp for me was the best one, because you can start out free and then you can kind of build as you grow your business. But you definitely 100% should be utilizing a mailing system. And again, this kind of goes into the social media thing, but you don't have control over your followers on social media, but you do with a mailing system. So that's very important. It's something you should be doing from the get-go. Okay, now let's talk about models and photography. This is another thing that's really important. I think sometimes it's easily overlooked in the beginning because we don't have a lot of money to invest in this, but it is 1000% worth the investment when you can find models who know what they're doing, because guys, people are buying what they see in a picture. It's super vain, but that's just the way this market goes. So you need to have models who know what they're doing. I think it's important that you have all types of ranges from, you know, blonde to the darkest brunette, fair skin to the darkest skin, just so that, you know, there's lots of diversity all across the board. I know in the beginning it's really hard to find models, so do your best to, you know, create connections with people and find people in your area that can kind of suit the needs as you grow. The other thing is photography. Again, depending on your niche, it is really important to have very clean, cohesive photography, especially on Instagram, because when people are, you know, finding out about your store, they want to see that things look professional, that they look clean, and that it serves your brand. So all of these things, your models, your photography, your name, your niche, they all come together as a brand. And your logo should be the same thing. However, don't get so caught up on having the perfect logo and the perfect Instagram in the beginning that you hold off on starting, because I probably changed my logo like 3 or 4 times as I owned my business. And you know what? No one ever noticed. All they cared about was that I was selling good clothes, and that things were appealing online, and that they, you know, had the information that they needed to purchase. The other thing, sorry, I'm kind of going backwards, but the other thing I want to talk about with shipping is something I kind of recommend doing is competing with your competitors on shipping. If there's a lot of people who are doing free shipping, build it up into your price, just because people are so much more likely to buy when there's free shipping. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, and this is something again that ties back into social media, and it's a completely different beast and a different subject on its own, but it's working with brand ambassadors and bloggers. You know, nowadays with social media and with all these bloggers out there, it's so important that we utilize them and utilize those tools of spreading the word. So sending out free product, having them do reviews for you, having a blog on your website and sharing, you know, the blogs that bloggers share about your products on your blog. All of that, again, goes with Pinterest and Instagram and a Facebook page and blog, but all of those tools are going to work together for your good. So the more the merrier. Okay, I know this was pretty general. Again, this was just a little overview for you, but if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, and I'd be happy to answer anything that I can. Again, this just all comes from my business experience in owning a very successful boutique that was done all online. I actually sold it about, it's been a little while now, sold it last year, and now I'm moving on to my next little venture. But I definitely have lots of experience and lots to share about owning a women's clothing boutique. So best of luck to you. I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you later. Bye.